where were you born?
I was born at Paddington Women's Hospital on the 27th of the 5th, 39.
And your parents were living in Woolloomooloo at that time?
They were living in McLean Street, Woolloomooloo, just down from St Colin Girls Church.
Have you lived in Woolloomooloo all your life?
All my life I've never moved, I never leave.
How many kids were in your family when you were growing up?
Mum and Dad had 2 boys and 2 girls. Maria, Nick, Sam and Jenna.
So you were third?
Yes, I was third in line.
What are your earliest memories of Woolloomooloo?
I loved it. Dad was a fisherman. He used to take me when I was about 7 years of age. And half the time Mum didn't know where I was, but Dad used to take me out fishing. They used to go out from when the sun went down till the sun came up. What's that?
All night?
Mm-hmm.
And
That's the only way you catch prawns.
And where would they fish?
The harbour. They used to trawl the harbour all that lot.
Yeah? Was there enough fish in there?
Dad was the only one allowed to trawl the harbour.
What, the whole time or?
Yes, Dad was born and bred here. Dad was born here in 1900.
No. Oh, do you mean he was the only one allowed during the war?
Yes, Dad was, because he was born here.
Now what kind of a house did you live in? What was it?
It's only just one of them simple houses in Woolloomooloo.
Was it a terrace?
Oh, 2-story, but we had about, in the end we had about, when Dad, started from the beginning, Dad brought his relations out, blah, blah, blah. We were all living about 4 in one room at that time.
Okay. Four in.
I was a kid, but there was girls sharing one room, 4 in one room, 4 in one room. It was only a 3-bedroom place.
Well, what kind of a place was Woolloomooloo for kids in the 40s?
In the 40s.
Well,
I'm 39.
Yeah, so you would remember probably from what, the mid 40s?
Well, my brother used to tell me. My brother was 6 years older than me. He practically nursemaided me, you know. He was brother look after brother them days.
Yeah.
Pretty rough and ready.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how was it for Italian kids?
And we had a rough time in them years.
Why was that?
Because we got called names, wogs, dagos, blah, 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 blah. What are you doing here?
Yeah. Did the other kids...
There was a lot of fights, yeah, it was a lot of fights.
And did the other kids really mean that? Like, were they really nasty?
I don't think it was the kids. It was the parents, because their kids were overseas fighting, and we got the backlash, I'd say.
Oh right, because you'd be linked with the Italians.
Yeah. We got the backlash.
Yeah. Did it make it tough?
Made us cry. Yeah, it did. Because we didn't understand what was actually going on.
Yeah.
We were only kids at the time, and we stand and fight.
Well, what kind of a kid were you?
Well, just a Woolloomooloo kid. Just you took it on the chin. If you didn't take it on the chin,
did you fight back?
You had to.
Yeah.
Well, Vic Patrick came from here. He fought back, didn't he?
Who did?
Vic Patrick, Australian champion.
Was he?
Yeah, he was Italian.
A boxer.
Yeah.
He was Italian with a name like Patrick.
Vic Patrick was. You don't know who Vic Patrick?
No.
What was his name? He's original Australian first champion. Fought Freddie Dawson. And we had the Police Boys Club. Oh my God, that's where you get rid of your frustrations up the Police Boys Club. You just put everyone in the ring.
Yeah.
But you couldn't beat the parents. Go on.
Okay.
His name was Looper, but he changed it to Patrick.
Why do you reckon he did that?
Australian champion. You never heard of Vic Patrick?
No. But why did he change his name?
I don't know. Go on, carry on.
Okay, sorry. Okay, well, what sort of a family do you come from?
Very close-knit family. And Dad They were going through during the Depression. They used coupons, blah blah blah. But Dad was a fisherman. When there was prawns, fish, calamari, people used to laugh at squid. They wouldn't eat. They call it calamari now. It's a delicacy. Mussels they wouldn't eat. Have a look. We couldn't give them away. Tuppence a pound of prawns.
And people wouldn't eat prawns in those days?
Prawns that big. Because that was the beginning of the harbour. You couldn't sell it for tuppence. You know what tuppence is?
Yeah.
You couldn't. People had no money. But Dad fed everyone in Woolloomooloo. There was a parcel for everyone in Woolloomooloo. I think they used to call it, what's the word I'm looking for, is bartering.
Yeah.
Well, Mrs. Tarantala up the road, she had a coal shed. She used to give us coal. Someone would give us some, so it was just a parcel for her, and we get a parcel from that, and parcel, but just, the word I'm looking at is bartering, is that the right word?
Yeah, bartering, yeah.
You give me something and I'll give you something back, blah, blah.
And that's how they got through the Depression years.
Oh, everyone in Woolloomooloo, we were comfortable.
You were saying before that your father, your grandparents, your father's parents came out to Australia.
Well, my grandmother, yes.
Can you tell me about that?
Well, our nonna, my nana, she must have been a villain. She had about 13 kids. So apart from that, they still relations in Woolloomooloo now. But she married twice, and she had 13 kids. And
she came out to Australia from Italy?
And had Dad. Dad was born here in 1900.
And
Dad was the firstborn, so.
Right. And she was living in Woolloomooloo?
Yeah. And then she went back to Italy. Dad was about 7. And the Italian relationship, he married Mum, brought her back when he was about 20. Because he was Australian born, there was no...
immigration problem?
No.
Right.
But after that, Dad had to sponsor, they had 13 kids, he had to sponsor everyone and bring them back into the country, all these brothers and sisters.
Were all the rest born in Italy?
Oh, half of them were.
Yeah. That would have been...
In them days you had to have a sponsor.
That would have cost him all his wages and everything.
And that's the way Dad was. He fed everyone in the loo during the Depression.
And
prawns, you couldn't give prawns away. It's a delicacy. You couldn't give squid away. People they shun their nose at octopus, prawns.
You told me the other day at the pub that your father was working in the harbour when the Grey Cliff went down.
Yes, and he when he was trawl, he used to take, he saved a lot of people.
Can you tell me what he's told you about that?
Well, he still in them days he used to get thank you notes, blah 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 blah. But when he was trawling the harbour, a prawn it's like a vulture. It's a scavenger of the sea, a prawn, and Dad used to prawn it, and he come up with a couple of bodies covered in prawns and prawn and a leverjack is a scavenger. It purifies the sea.
Yeah.
It's just something like nature's way of purifying the sea. And when Dad, so we had to take him to the water police at Circular Quay.
Right. Was he out there the day the ferry went down?
He saved it, yes, he was.
He rescued some people.
Oh, Dad was out there. He got a lot of these thank you notes, but I'm going back before my time.
27 that went down.
Well,
yeah.
Before my time. But people always sent him on that date. Dad always got it, and Dad was Italian. And
did years later people send him notes on the day of that went down?
Yes.
That's wonderful. What amazing.
I'm talking feeling, I'm not.
Yeah. You're the only person I've talked to who's had any knowledge of that, really.
Well, Dad was born here. They interned all the Italians during the war. And Dad was born here, and he fed everyone on Woolloomooloo.
Mm.
You ask anyone over, and only for Dad. I used to take parcels around. I used to push the barrow of mule and the old ice in the barrow.
Mm.
I couldn't, you got to drop a parcel here, you got to drop a parcel here, you got to drop a parcel here, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But he's a fair dinkum bloke.
Mm. Were there many other Italian families in Woolloomooloo at that time?
And he bought out his own family. Dad was the original. His fishing boat was number LFB number 3.
Did it have a name?
Yes, the Maria.
Maria?
LFB, it's like a vintage car. How would you like to have a car, the first car in Australia, number 3?
Mm. And that's what his boat was the equivalent?
LFB, licensed fishing boat number 3, Maria.
Gosh.
So it's like John Law's having these cars, a vintage car.
Mm. Mm. And are you saying, how your father brought out all his brothers and sisters?
Yeah, he had to have a sponsor in them days.
Mm. Does it mean that most of the Italians in Woolloomooloo are related to you?
Dad bought everyone out here.
Really?
All of them.
Oh gosh, and so you were really the start of the Italian community?
I don't want to get nasty.
Okay. But you were...
Dad sponsored everyone that come out here. He'd have a job for them before they could come out.
Gosh. And was there not a fishing fleet before him?
No, he was the original. LFB number 3.
Yeah, that's amazing. Gosh. All right. All right. Well, how would you describe your father as a man?
He was a mountain.
Mm.
He went further out. He's the original Italian. These ones working in the fish market. No.
Okay.
Dad was the original fisherman.
Yeah.
He brought his brothers out. No names mentioned. Everyone had a boat, trawling.
Mm.
Then when they brought the fish markets in, he used to sell. Never sold it. He gave parcels to everyone in Woolloomooloo.
Mm. Well, let's talk about your mum. What sort of a woman was your mother?
Mum was just a typical Italian mother.
And what does that mean?
She loves kids.
Oh yeah. And
she, when they came out, she made everything for the kids. She was a dressmaker by trade. Made their dresses, made their things, and she dressed all the kids, all the Italian kids.
you know when you were a kid.
The old, what was the singer pedal? The old singer pedal machine.
Oh yes.
Mum used to do that. She dressed every kid in the Italian kid.
You know, in the 40s, so you would remember sort of the end of the war, and
I remember we used to have to turn the lights. We had gas. It was all gas. When the and it was about, I remember me communing in 45, and the Japs hit Bondi, blah blah blah.
Can you remember the Japs getting into the harbour?
Well, then we had to turn all the lights out.
Did he cut?
Everyone in King's Cross, the Cross, the Loo, everything.
Can you remember people being afraid during the wartime?
Yes, I do. Well, Mum came from Italy, and we had to shade all the lights. We had to turn all the lights off. You weren't allowed to show any lights. That's from the old country.
Can you remember the Americans being around?
Yes, I do remember the Yanks.
But what were they like?
They give you, they used to give us sixpence, a zack, they used to put on that. We were kids, we know. To get sixpence and they just go to the movies was a big thing. Down at Garden Island, they used to have what was it? The ships used to come in. Yeah, I remember the cross, yeah.
Well, by the time of the 40s, your father presumably would have been selling fish and making a living then, because the Depression was well and truly over. But I want to ask, who controlled the finances in your family, your dad or your mum?
Well, Dad used to hide all his money.
From your mum or from...
All of us.
So, and then he would give her money for housekeeping and...
Yeah.
Right.
He was a real Italian. Women's place barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. That was the good old days.
Yeah.
And these women live ever like this.
You know the house that you lived in, were you renting or did you own it?
No, it was 48 McLean Street. I'm proud to admit it. And to cut a long story short, they were going to buy the whole block from the church down when Dad's, you know, he put his brothers, blah, 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 blah. I think he was paying 30 bob a week. 30 shillings a week, I don't know if you know. So when they all got in, they were going to conspire to hire. No, that's...
Did they buy them?
No, they only bought a... Now it's worth a bit of little, isn't it?
Yeah. So did they end up renting all their lives there?
No, Dad bought a few houses.
Okay, were your parents religious?
Yes, we were strict Catholics. My sister was a Church of Mary, the sister's charity, you know.
Potts Point, is it? Did she go to school there?
I was St Mary's boy.
Well, did they take girls at St Mary's?
Yes, boys and girls in them days.
So did all your family go there?
Yes.
Well, are you saying your sister became a nun?
No.
Sorry.
She was practically a nun. Her daughter became a nun.
Oh, right.
I was at all the boys at St Columbkills.
Oh.
I used to ring the bell there at 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Now they call it noise pollution, don't they?
Probably. So you went to Catholic schools and you went to Mass?
Yes, I've been there all my life.
Did you pray at home? Like, did you say the rosary at night at home and all that
Not
sort of thing?
with the family, only at church.
Okay. What sort of politics was talked in your home?
There was no politics, only when I went to work. I've always been a Labor man.
But the parents weren't involved politically?
No.
Okay. Well, what sort of discipline was used at home? When you were being a rat bag, what happened?
Oh, it wasn't mum and dad, it was me eldest sister. She kept me in check.
Really?
Yes, Maria was, she was, they loved her at the convent.
Yeah.
And she brought me up really that strict.
Was she a lot older than you?
She's 12 years older than
Yeah.
But brother Nick was only 6 and he was rough and ready.
But your parents, so you never had...
Well, they were Italian. They stuck to their own. But Maria she was a strict Catholic, very strict Catholic, I'll tell you that. And Nick was rough and ready.
You know, when you were growing up in the 40s, were you expected to contribute to the family in any way in terms of income, like sell papers, collect bottles, that kind of thing?
I was working on my old man's fishing boat.
Right, and would you go out on the harbour with him?
Yeah. And I worked my ass out too. I wanted to.
Did you have to do it to help?
Yes. When it was raining, I'd go and pump the boat out. I hated it.
And sort of, from what age were you helping your dad?
It was something you had to accept. It's just part of the family.
Yeah, and from what age would you go out to do that?
When I was 7 years of age.
Yeah, all night. Did you get to go to sleep every night?
Well, I days off, no wake up. There was no winches in them days. You had to do everything by hand.
Gee.
Yes, and it was hard.
You must have got pretty muscly.
I'm not.
Was there some good times though out in the boat with your dad?
There's some worrying times.
What do you mean?
The ferries you go straight across you. Well, and one of the neighbours, no names mentioned, one of the coal carriers went straight across and sunk the boat, went straight through. When you had lights in them days, you know, the red and green, you know, started and sliced them in half, and half the crew went down.
Gee. And they didn't have lights on the boats?
Not in them days.
Gee.
Green and red and started and forward.
Okay, did your family do anything together for fun? The family as a group?
We used to go over to Bradley's Head. There was a big where the zoo is. Oh, that's Bradley's Head, where the zoo is. We used to go over there and have some great picnics over there. I remember them distinctly.
Would that be just your family, or would
It was
other
all
people?
bush in them days. There was no. It was just a zoo. No, well, we make a. Then the Italians used to have the blessing of the feet. They come late. They come later.
When did they start doing that blessing of the fleet?
Oh, how am I? I'd say that have to be 14. So 39, 40, what worked it out?
In the 50s.
Yeah, and the priests, all the Catholics. They were all strict Catholics.
And why did they start that up then? What initiated it that they started doing the blessing of the fleet?
Well, it's a tradition they brought from the old country.
Right. Well, it's sort of the next question was, what would you do in the evening, typically in the evening, but you'd be out fishing, was it?
How old am I?
Pardon?
How old am I now?
No, it was
Answer the
39, 89, you're 50, you're 50 something.
Okay, you want to put me in my teens?
Well, no, what about when you were, say, 10 or 11 or 12? We're talking about when you were a kid.
I was still going to church. I was a good little all blood.
But you know how in the evenings everybody watches TV now? I'm trying to get
we used to listen to the radio. Who was it? No, it was only the wireless in them days.
Can you remember any of your favourite programs from then?
Yes, Search for the Golden Boomerang. It was just all wireless in them days.
What was your parents' English like, by the way?
Well, now I'm going to tell you something. That's another question. It was broken English. They talked to me in Italian. I could understand, but I couldn't talk back. It was a mix. It was sort of when I was in the army, I was in hospital, and I could not talk to my mother on the telephone.
Oh, gee.
Because it was all more or less hand signals.
Gee.
It was the most frustrating. When I was doing my national service, Mum rang up, knew I was in hospital, and I couldn't talk to my own mother on the phone.
Gosh.
Yes, because there was no. That's the most frustrating thing in my whole life. I couldn't speak to my own mum on the phone.
But when in your normal
we got to work.
Yeah, in the normal life, not when you could see each other. Did your mum work outside the home?
No, she's good Italian mother, barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen.
Well, she only had 4 kids. I mean, couldn't have spent that much time being pregnant. Did your dad like...
That was that call for. A good Italian mother's always in the kitchen making pasta and everything.
Yeah. Did she make her own pasta?
She was a dressmaker. She made everyone's clothes. She made men's suits in them days.
Gee.
The old singer, the old pedal machine.
Where would she learn to do something like that?
Over in Italy.
Gee.
It was a proxy wedding.
Oh, right. Was she related to your father, like a long-distant cousin or something?
Well, they're all from the same...
Oh, yeah, what area? What area in Italy did
Messina. The old mafia country.
In the south?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Sicily was the...
Oh, they're from Sicily?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh. Well, did they bring any of the mafia with them?
They brought all their family, yeah.
Right. And so would that, if you lived there, would you be part of the mafia there?
You could be, you wouldn't make it.
But you were an
No,
absolute...
that's a wrong word, the mafia. That's only a figure of speech.
Yeah, because not everybody...
It is a clan, it's a clan.
But not everyone would be... That wouldn't mean it necessarily involved in crime.
No one's talked about crime. You mentioned crime. No, it's a family.
Yeah.
So he brought all his family up. That's all I said. I didn't say anything else.
No. So, do you know your father, how he's a fisherman? Did he like being a fisherman? Was that an occupation?
It was his livelihood.
Yeah.
It was the original. He was number one. He was the number.
Yeah. And is that what he did in Italy as well? Like there was a fisherman there? Yeah. If you're thinking about your mother's working day, can you describe it to me, your mother's working day? Like what time she would get up and what she would do and what her day would be like?
That'd work all night. Then he'd come home and have breakfast. He'd sleep all day because he had to go to work tonight. Mum would look after us. Maria, my sister, eldest sister, well, my recognition, Maria brought me up, reared me. She was a very strict Catholic, seminary school. And Mum was she was the household.
Was she the force in the household, sort of holding it together with your father being out and then sleeping?
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, it was a family. And what she said.
And did your father have to work 7 days a week?
No, we only worked 6.
Had one day off.
Saturday night.
At your home, what was a typical meal?
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Apart from spaghetti, what we caught in the sea.
Yeah.
I'm sick of prawns. I still don't eat prawns to this day.
Really?
I'm sick of prawns. I'm sick of squid. They call it calamari now. It's a delicacy. We had it every. It was just.
Did you ever have meat?
That's what I'm saying. I'd love a good steak. Them days.
Yeah. But did you ever have that, or did you always have fish?
Just all seafood, practically seafood.
Were you healthy?
Have a look at me.
Yeah. But it was fish, and that's a lot healthier, I think, than red meat, so they say.
I was sick as sick. I told you, I had to never see a prawn again.
You know, in those days, in the 40s, can you remember if they had the same variety of fruit and vegetables around in the shops as what we've got now?
We had plenty of fruit. They used to go around with what was his name? Used to go around with the carts and then, we had plenty of fruit.
Then they would deliver it with, was that horse-drawn carts?
Yes, or? The milkman, the fruit, the bacon. Which it's another story by itself.
Yeah, tell us about the baker.
The baker used to come in. We used to get all the crumbs out the back of the Abco bread it was, and then we had the milkman, the iceman. He always got. That's where we got all the girls. You know why the iceman always got the girls? No. Because he always had his pick.
Oh, very good.
Well, they used to come around in the old days.
But did most people shop locally, or?
Yeah, there was 2 shops in Woolloomooloo.
And people would, and you know how like these days people go to big sort of supermarkets?
These were to the local. You were allowed to, in them days you had coupons, but they knew you. It was bartering. I told you that.
Even in the 40s? Even when you were a kid?
Yes, they were bartering.
Yeah. No, at least it avoids the tax.
Is that the word? I'm using the right word?
No, yeah, you are. Yeah. And other people have told us about, you know, your family and that, you know, giving fish and what have you.
That's right.
Yeah. Wrong page. Think, who are your friends? Who were your friends when you were growing up, Sam?
Well, I got to say, only for the playground, Miss Drawn, which is now nearly 90. That playground saved us from a life of crime because we were pretty rough and ready. But she taught us to play sports, swim, and We've always got a lot of respect for Miss Drawn.
And did they, when you were at the playground, were you, you know how before you mentioned about kids calling you wogs and dagos and that kind of thing? Was that allowed at the playground?
No, Miss Drawn wouldn't put up with that. And she always come to our
That's good. When I've talked to other kids, other people growing up, when I asked them about the ethnic mix of the area, they mentioned, well, really, they just said there were Anglos and Italians.
Well, it was Italian. The Italians were in turn in them times. We were all dagos. I hate the word.
Yeah.
I really hate that word.
Yeah.
But we used to fight. That's why I taught about fighters. We used to go to the police boys club. Then you got rid of your frustration. Anyone called you that, you say get in the ring around a Woolloomooloo police boys club.
It's just funny, when we've talked to people, they always say, that there was no prejudice and that there was no racism, that everyone was the same and they were all your mates and everybody played together, and that never happened. But I'm hearing that from Anglos, so it's interesting to hear what you're saying.
Well, I heard us. Oh no, Woolloomooloo's a close thing, but you had to prove yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Stand and be counted. That's what I meant.
And after you accepted,
Oh yeah, you're part of the.
yeah.
I think it was more the parents, not the kids,
Oh right.
in that era.
Oh, sorry.
All the kids growing up together. It was a bond. You can take the boy out of Woolloomooloo, but you can't take the Lou out of Woolloomooloo.
Yeah. So Louis, yeah. When you were what was I going to say? Sorry. Yeah. Who were your friends when you were growing up there? Say you're thinking. So you would have been 6 in 1940.
Are you going back? What do you want to talk about? My teens or me?
No, say 7, 8, 9, 10, as early as you can go.
I was a St Mary's boy. I was a little saint.
Yeah. And can you remember any of your childhood friends?
Yes.
Do you want to name any of them, or you don't want to?
Well, as I said, Billy Corbett. He born and bred in Woolloomooloo.
Mm-hmm.
And I could name
Who are your other mates?
they're all no. I'm talking about St Mary's. There was Plunkett Street School. There was St Mary's School.
Oh right.
It was more or less in them days. It was mixing the Catholics and the.
There wasn't that much mixing between the Protestant kids and the Catholics.
We were Catholics. We were the good.
Oh yeah.
But when we got in the playground or something like that.
Well, what sort of things would you do with your friends? What would kids do for a good time then?
We were all into sport. That's what Miss Drawn. Tennis, paddle tennis, swimming, basketball, and we got a lot of champions. Football. We all played for the Fitzroy. We're all into sports, and that kept your mind occupied.
Yeah, and where did you swim?
Down at the main swimming pool, and they had a big gym down there, and we used to play handball down there. And every Sunday they used to throw a duck in there. Anyone that kept the duck caught it.
And got to keep the duck? Really?
Well, you ever try to catch a duck when it's swimming in the pool?
No.
I wouldn't like your chances either.
Yeah. And somebody told me that a shark got into that.
It was a broken net, but it used to scare the daylights out of everybody.
Yeah. Were you there then?
Yeah, we were down there. We swim there every day.
And can you remember any adventures you had?
Relating to what?
Oh, just things that you got up to with your friends.
Oh, wow.
But probably you weren't supposed to have.
Well, can I don't know if I should mention this.
Yeah, you can. It's all right.
How old am I? I'm about 16, that okay?
Mm-hmm.
We used to take the girls up the main, the park, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, this one particular night, we were under a tree, and the police used to patrol the next thing. They put the lights on I'm under a tree, they put the lights up the tree, and they come tearing down, they put the lights up the tree. And we've got up in a hurry, blah, 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 blah. Righto, Fred. Fred was up on the Browns. Come down, Fred. So Fred gets out the Browns and they said, get in the boat. And he said, what are you two young kids doing under the... Blah, blah, blah. Give us a kick up the backside and they put Fred in the back. We didn't know he was up on the Browns.
Oh, God. And
it was very... he was watching everything we did. But,
oh, gee, I wonder
it
who...
was a rock. They used to call them rock spiders and then it was...
Oh. Oh, really? So he wasn't just a crim hiding from...
They knew Fred. They knew every tree he was in. He used to
hang around and watch everybody.
Mm.
Oh, God.
It's very disillusioned, I tell you.
Yeah, a bit embarrassing.
It was not for me, but the girl.
Mm. But, and who, do you know who Fred was?
It was a rock spider.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all you know about it. No, well, at least the police weren't spotlighting you.
No, we nearly ran us over trying to get Fred, but...
Oh, gee. Well, when you were a kid, how far were you allowed to roam? Did your parents sort of keep you close to home, or were you free to go around the neighbourhood?
No, we were all around Woolloomooloo. Police Boys Club was our local place. The playground and the Police Boys Club. Mm. And they used to... The Police Boys Club, what was the name? Sylvia Chase. She was beautiful.
Who was she?
Oh my God.
Sorry. Tell us.
Sylvia, they've named the drive over, Sylvia Chase.
Oh.
We're all kids, used to give you tea and bickies. We used to watch Charlie Chaplin movies in the old days.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't do your PT duties, we used to call it PT, you had to do push-ups and everything.
Oh, and she was at the police club?
Yes. She was the head of Woolloomooloo.
Oh, really?
You didn't know that?
No, I haven't. Nobody else mentioned her.
Sylvia Chase Drive.
Mm. Anyway, and was she a local? Did she live here, or was she?
She was an old lady of 80 years of age. Mm-hmm. Give us tea and bickies. We, as I said, during the Depression, you had to do your exercises and you had to do everything. If you didn't do, you never got your tea and bickies or watch Charlie Chaplin. You know, the old silent movies.
Yeah, yeah. Can you remember any other local characters in the area?
Oh, Sylvia Chase. She was Miss Drawn and Sylvia Chase.
They sound like
they live in my memory forever.
Can you remember any crims that you can still mention?
Plenty of two-ups, SPs and everything. I don't want to talk about that.
What about, was there much prostitution around? You'd think that with all the boats and that coming in.
Oh, down the Rock and Roll, you'd always get a buy a raffle ticket for £2.
What? What did you say?
They call it the Woolloomooloo Bay now.
Oh yeah, the pub. And you could have, there was a raffle.
20 cents.
Mm.
And you got a girl if you won a raffle.
Oh gosh. But
that was 20 cents.
Yeah,
£2 used to call that.
Was that in the 50s?
Yes, that was in the 50s, and it was every night of the week. All the sailors, all the... Haven't you heard this before?
No, that's what no. It's great, it's good what you...
£2.
With your friends, what were the sort of things that you did together? You go to the playground and you play sports in the club. Would you go to the cinema or anything like that?
Yeah, we used to go to the movies. Yeah, that was how you go to the movies. We all used to congregate on the corner. And they'd help anyone walking down, old women. That's something we brought up. Respect your elders.
When you were what you went to St Mary's, how were you treated there? What was school like there?
You want to talk about the brothers?
Yeah.
It's coming out in the wash now. I don't want to talk about it.
But I've never heard any of that. The abuse and that. No.
No.
Okay. Did you get any sex education?
We brought up the harbour.
You brought up what?
We brought up our way. Oh, when you talk about St Mary's or...
Oh, either your parents or from school?
They were very naive.
So you found out from your mates?
Yes. Rough and ready.
Yeah. Did you have any toys or books as a kid?
We're too busy playing sports.
Mm.
We used to go barefoot.
Were there any places that you were not allowed to go as a kid?
No, not really.
No?
No.
Just trying to think. How would you describe the neighbourhood of Woolloomooloo? You know, was it industrial or residential or?
No, it was just all kids.
Mm.
There was 3 different sections. The big boys, little boys, and they used to kick up the backside if you...
What were the police like?
In them days, they used to bumper Farrell kick me up the ass that many times.
For doing what? What were some of the rat baggy things
For
you did?
being out late at night, he'd just grab you and kick up the backside and say, yeah.
Gee.
What are you doing out this late, little boy? Blah, 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 and kick up the backside and say, yeah.
Gee. Well, how old would you have been then when you were out late?
14.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing out, little boy? Get out.
Was it a safe neighbourhood?
Well, we felt safe.
Mm. And was the population, was it the same people living there?
It was a community. It was, girls could walk around safe.
Did you know everybody in the area?
Yes. And if you were one of the locals, you're walking down, they'd escort you home.
No.
There was no... That was our territory.
Well, what impact did it have being, you know, you're right on the wharves and...
We didn't like the sailors, we didn't like the seamen.
Didn't like them?
It was a conflict.
That's
always
right.
There was always a conflict.
Really? Because you'd think you'd be used to them. You know, because it...
No,
That would
the
be
sailors
quite
don't wear them well.
Really? And where did most people work? Where did your friends' parents... where did your friends' parents work?
Well, most of the local was painters and dockers or wharfies.
And fishermen, presumably.
And fish. Oh, they're the original, yeah.
Yeah. You know, you grew up and you didn't become a fisherman. Why was that?
Like, I got too much Aussie here. I mean, that guy didn't want to live in the old country. I became a wharfie.
Yeah. What was that like?
It was pretty rough in them days too. I was on strike for 3 months.
Yeah. Can you remember when you were a kid there being industrial action or anything down the wharves?
Yes. That was pig-eye and mum and all that. I was only a kid, so...
Can you remember much talk about that?
Yeah, I became a wharfie after that.
Yeah.
But everyone was a labour man, not a communist.
Really?
Can I tell you one incident?
Yeah.
I'm a wharfie in 1963, okay? I'm a wharfie. The first ship to go to Vietnam was the Jet Parrot. And let me tell you, I done my national service. I did my army, blah, blah, blah. And they said, they ordered us off the ship. The ship's black band. Because they didn't believe in the Vietnam War. We walked off the ship because, you know, we were wharfies. They spat at us, they threw everything. And wait a minute, not supplying your own Aussies with, you know, blah, blah. I practically cried.
Who spat at you?
All the public, you know. But it wasn't, now let's get in the right perspective. It wasn't our war.
No.
And I said, I did my army. I said, you got to walk off. So they commissioned the ship and made it a Navy ship. Had really not supplying your own Aussies with, but we were wharfies. You had to obey by the. And as it turned out, it wasn't our war in the first place. Our kids shouldn't have been over there.
Did a lot of your mates go onto the wharves and work on the wharves?
We're all waterside workers, painters and dockers were.
You know, when you were a kid, can you remember any of your friends' parents and that getting hurt working on the wharves? I mean, it was a lot more dangerous then.
A lot of people got killed.
Yeah, what from? Why?
There was no safety issues, you know.
And if someone did get killed, were the shipping...
No. the ship owners were a different breed. It was completely different. The workers and we had benefits around the police boys club for anyone hurt in Woolloomooloo. There was always a benefit.
But would the families get compensation? Say somebody gets injured and incapacitated.
Not in them days.
So how would they survive?
Only from bidders, from people running raffles and doing.
And can you remember incidences where people lost the breadwinner from their family?
Yeah, next door.
Who was that? It's okay if you don't want to name them. Okay.
No, I don't want to talk about it. It's very close.
And you know when you were a kid, can you remember what the common childhood illnesses were?
In them days it was polio.
Oh, gee.
But they immunised everyone.
Did anybody down here get that?
Well, they used to have, a limpy leg.
Who did?
No.
Can you remember any deaths from illnesses that wouldn't happen now?
No, they used to have TB in them days.
Was that common down here?
No, not down the low. TB and polio was, you used to have to get immunised.
Yeah. Can you remember when cars started first coming in?
Yeah, the old Holden.
Yeah.
That was in McLean Street, Labour's.
Did your family have a car?
I used to push a barrel.
Did you?
That was Labour's in Woolloomooloo, opposite the playground.
Yeah. Did many people have cars in the area?
Only the people who owned shops. That was the old F.J. Holden, I think it was the original one.
Yeah. Were you happy as a kid?
Yes. I had a good family.
I'm just trying to think. Is there anything I haven't asked you that I should have asked you?
Relating to what?
Just about your childhood and life in Woolloomooloo at that time?
Well, look, now that we're a lot older, we're still closely knit. And you know who the goodies are and the baddies are.
Was there a place in the area where people would meet to talk?
The Police Boys Club and the playground.
They were the centres.
Only for the playground, Miss Drawn. She gets my vote. She was a sergeant major in the army. He used to kick us up the backside, pull us by the ear, pull us in the ear. All I got utmost praise for Miss Drawn and the Police Boys Club, because they used to give a clip under the ear. They do.
You know how you said if it wasn't for the clubs and everything, you would have ended up maybe in a life of crime?
Quite right.
Did many kids end up in a life of crime around here?
A few did. But if you were sports minded, sports occupies your mind.
Yeah,
The main swimming pool, football. We're too busy playing sports.
Was there such a thing as gangs? Like sometimes these days you hear about.
Yes, that was gang.
Were they older people's gangs or kids' gangs?
It wasn't a gang, it was just a group. It wasn't. They looked after one. They never went out to hurt anybody, but they all stuck together.
Were there many things like break and enters in the neighbourhood?
Not in them days, you'd left your doors wide open.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to have a feed. No. In Woolloomooloo you walk in anyway. And it was open house.
Gosh.
They cut your fingers off if you touched that in.
Yeah.
It was open house and there was always something to eat for some prawns. As I said, we couldn't give prawns away. Everything was open house in Woolloomooloo in them days, and everything was open house.
Sounds like it was a great neighbourhood.
It was beautiful.
And you're glad you've lived here all your life?
They're going to take me out fair first when I go. I go to Brookwood next time. Botany, I should say. I love Woolloomooloo.
And you still, the neighbourhood's changed.
And now we've got a different environment. We've got a different environment.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, they run their own business from mine house.
But have you still got the sense of community here, or is it?
No, it's all gone.
Is that because the population's become more mobile? People move more and all that?
No, there's still we've got our togetherness. No one takes that away from him, but it's a different the kids are doing. You can't teach. I can't go around and kick someone out. Some little kid. I can't kick him up the backside.
Oh, yeah.
In the old days, you used to kick him up the side and give him a big hand. Pull him in the gear. You can't do that anymore.
No. No, well, that's changed.
So you can only run wild.
Yeah.
In the old days, they would kick up the backside and clip under the ear and they'd more or less pull you in the gear.
It's good that
in the old days, you used to wake up yourself.
You would be going to do it again.
Oh, you'd have about 10 families coming down on top of you.
Okay, well, that's all I want to know. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, Sue, I love Woolloomooloo, and the next time I go, it's out the bottom.
Yeah.
I love Woolloomooloo.
Thanks a lot, Sam. It's great.
Thank you.
Thanks. Sorry, Sam, I've got one more question. Can you remember anything about rituals, like cracker night or raising the flag at school and that kind of thing?
Cracker night, everybody used to get dressed up as girls.
Schools?
They used to call that cracker night. Guy Fawkes night.
Yeah. And can you remember?
No, I never got dressed up as a girl.
And what other occasions can you remember? Or what?
The gypsies used to have a ritual down there. I don't know what it was, but I just remember it. There used to be a lot of gypsies in the old days. The Italians had their blessing of the flag.
But what when you're talking about cracker night, what would you do on cracker night? I mean,
that was Empire night or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, Empire Day. Yeah. And would there be a community bonfire, sort of in some sense?
That was on New Year's Eve. We used to have a New Year's, probably the biggest bonfires. They used to turn out the houses down.
And we just have bonfires in the street. Oh gosh! At New Year's Eve.
Every New Year's Eve.
And the whole community would come out?
Everyone in Woolloomooloo.
When you were at school, was there any flag waving or raising or any things like that used to do? Can you remember?
No, I was a St Mary's boy.
Yeah. Well, what?
Cardinal Gilroy come down and bless you and give you a day off.
Yeah. What about? Can you remember anything about Harbour Day or any other days? May Day, Australia Day. What would you do on Australia Day? No. Yes, I'm just trying to think of.
Anzac Day.
Empire Day.
What would you do on Anzac Day?
Well, now I did my army. I know what I do on Anzac Day.
But when you were a kid?
But I didn't.
Can't remember. Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Sam. And tell us, you were.
What year was it? 1952.
And that was the paddle tennis championship.
Yes, down on Woolloomooloo playground, and Billy Corbett and I were that proud to win this trophy for Woolloomooloo in the playground, and we're so proud. And I still keep that as a treasure.
Yeah.
Billy Corbett and Sam Donato.